The following BLTV program is brought to you by O'Flaherty Law. Please enjoy.
Welcome to the SeizeYourBusiness.com podcast and video blog. My name is Kevin O'Flaherty from O'Flaherty Law. Joined as always by my co-host Bryan McDonald from OnPurpose Growth. And today our guest is Neil Kristianson from Email Splat, and we're going to talk about accountability and automation of the sales process. So thanks for joining us, Neil.
Sure, no problem.
Tell us a little bit about what you do.
So what I do is I help small sales teams automate their sales process so that things don't fall through the cracks. They can do more with less. They can build in some accountability, not lose sales. So we take all those kind of swirling ideas that an entrepreneur has about their business, you know, all these things they're trying to do that are all floating around in the air, and we take all that and we put it on paper or digital, and we plan it all out, and you know, we build an actual process for their sales and marketing so that people flow through and we can capture data and not lose opportunities.
So this sounds like it's a step beyond just having a CRM system like Salesforce. You're kind of bringing the people into it.
Yeah, it's kind of like Salesforce, but then we build all these automated steps into things. So it's not just having a database. It is a database, and we have all the people in there, but then we're automating that database so that the contacts or customers are getting automated sales messages that go out, you know, emails or text messages or postcards or whatever we could think of that we want to send someone. We can automate all that. So in between touches from the salesperson, you know, they might get an email, they might get a text message, they might just get an email that says, hey, I was just thinking about you, here's an article I just read recently. And all that can be automated so that the salesperson isn't sitting there trying to remember to keep up with their 50 prospects they have floating out there. They can focus on the one or two really hot deals right in front of them, but at the same time, all these other 48 people are still being touched and not forgotten. And then when they become a hot prospect, we can throw that back in front of the salesperson and say, hey, this person is now somebody you need to pick up the phone. Like we can even do, I just did this for a client recently, so that we have a page on their website where there's an order form where you can order their product. And so we cookied that web page, so when a prospect shows up on the page, it sends him a text message and says, you know, Brian's sitting on your checkout page right now. And then he can, so if he knows you and he's got a relationship with you, he can pick up the phone and go, hey, you know, I was just thinking about you. How are you doing? And you're like, oh my God, that's weird. So it's automation that's kind of creepy, but it could be used in a real life way.
But effective.
Yeah, but effective. You know, like when Amazon sends you the thing that says, hey, you just bought this, you might be interested in this, this, and this.
Right, oh yeah.
You know, all that kind of stuff is available to small businesses now. You know, for Amazon, they're probably, how many millions of dollars did they invest in that 10 years ago? Well, today, you know, for a couple $100 a month, few $100 a month, a small business can have that kind of power that Amazon has. It's really amazing.
So do you find that this allows, this type of thinking allows, and putting in systems like this allows businesses to be more predictable?
Yeah, that's a big part of it, is having a predictable sales process. You know, when I was selling a lot on my own, it was like every time was the first time. You know, when I first started, you know, like when you started out, you're just like, I have no idea, and you're just throwing stuff against the wall, seeing what works, and it's hard to tweak things when every time is different.
Right.
You can't say, oh, well, that worked, but what if we did this instead, or maybe that would be a little better. You know, you can tweak the machine if you have a machine, but if you're just making it up on the fly every time, you can't really figure out why that worked and why the next thing didn't work. So it's easier when you have a process. Yeah, so we make a process out of the whole sales and marketing system.
So do you find that most small businesses have zero process?
Every small business has a process. They just don't know they have one usually.
Oh.
They're doing something. They're doing something already, and they have all these systems, but they're all in their head, or they're in 3 or 4 people's heads. And so what I do is when I start working with someone, the first thing I try to do is try to get all that out of their brain and down on paper. And it's really interesting. Sometimes you'll talk to the business owner or the head sales manager or whatever, and they have all these ideas of how everything works. And then you say, can I talk to some of your people? And then you find out that that's not at all how it works. You know, this is what's happening in the real world, and this is what we think is happening. And so then we can take all those ideas, take the best of all of those, and then build a process around that. So then that's what really does happen in the real world.
That's a big struggle that I've had is, creating this elegant, perfect system. I've talked about it on the show before. And then, either the system's a little bit too elegant and perfect, too many steps, it doesn't work in real life, or people don't buy in, people don't follow it, or there's no accountability process that's easy for me to actually check and make sure people are following it.
Right.
So what are some of the strategies you use to kind of overcome the challenge of bridging the gap between systems and reality, and then accountability for actually making sure those systems
Yeah, well, the first thing, you kind of alluded to it there, the first thing I always like to tell people is don't automate something that has never existed. So try something in the real world first. So a lot of people start a business and they immediately want to start automating it. And they're going to invest all this time and money in setting up automation and all that, and we don't know if it works. We don't know if we're ever going to make a sale. We don't know any of these things. So I always tell people, start out with something and just try it and tweak it. And then from there, start simple. You might just automate or build a process around one part of the business and document that and start maybe automating that. So a place I like to start, believe it or not, is not the sales process, but is the onboarding process. Because once you get a client, what do you do with them? So every business has some sort of system that a new client needs to go through when they become a client. And I think that's an easier place to start because a lot of people have thought about that, and they haven't really thought about the sales part of it, like systematizing that. But they kind of have a system when we get a new client. So start there, and then that'll free up some time, and that'll give every client, like you said, it'll give them all the same experience.
Yeah.
So we're consistent. A big part of having a real business versus a one-man show is that that you're giving everybody the same experience, and you can't do that when every time is different.
Well, Neil, thanks so much for sharing your techniques with us. I mean, that's the thing I'm always searching for, is how to make systems actually work in reality.
It's not easy.
Sounds like you can really help people with that. So we'll have your contact info on our show notes.
Great.
And we appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me by.
Thanks, man.
Visit learn-about-law.com for other legal-related articles and videos. Visit our business podcast and video blog, seizeyourbusiness.com, and visit makingrealestatefun.com for real estate videos and podcasts. Call us at 630-324-6666 for a free consultation. Thanks for watching.